A few years ago I heard a new word, posterized. It has to do with basketball, when an opponent dunks on you in such a dramatic fashion, in such a way, or a picture that would look good for the other guy as a blown-up image on the wall, you've been posterized. It's like being immortalized in loss. And in a sense, that's what happened to the Muncie Central High School Bearcats after their loss in 1954 to lowly Milan High in the state championship basketball game. And that's what happened again when that story was immortalized in film, from Milan's point of view, in the movie Hoosiers. Dr. Phil Razor was on that Bearcat team, and he's written a book called Outside Shooter that tells his story, but it only begins with the '54 championship game.
There are basketball fans or sports fans, and there are those who care only about the game as a game. But what happened as I started reflecting on this, the game became a microcosm for me. And just as you say, I began to examine the relationships within the microcosm and then compare them outside the game to the larger community and philosophical community.
Razor was a starting guard for the Bearcats that season, but the outside shooter for much of the game was an outsider looking in on the game, Razor having been benched late in the second quarter and not playing again after that. Razor says he uses that game as a vehicle to examine larger issues.
This is not a basketball book. There's an awful lot of basketball in the book, and I give it very serious attention because I take that activity very seriously. But it was the same kind of thing that Hemingway did in The Sun Also Rises when he used bullfighting. It's the same kind of thing that was used in the movie The Turning Point with ballet.
While that championship game's become a touchstone for the two communities and for Indiana as a whole, at the time, and for years afterward, Razor wasn't particularly cognizant of the game's weight. But then in 1986, the movie Hoosiers came out.
So I'd go to a party, and then there would be a story in the newspaper, and people would ask, well, what was it like? And more importantly, what was it like to be on the losing team? So after a long time of answering those kind of party-like questions, I decided that I would write my one-chapter, one-essay version of the game. I did, and the end result was, after I'd finished the first essay, I realized I haven't finished the story. The Milan-Muncie loss is connected with other losses. There's a whole series of losses from 1954 to 1961.
And while his basketball credentials are solid, Razor was also on the '57 Kansas team led by Wilt Chamberlain that lost the NCAA championship game to North Carolina in triple overtime. Razor's literary credentials are also just as clear, having taught literature at Old Dominion since 1969.
Well, this is, it starts out as a basketball story, and I would like basketball people to read it. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to alienate them. So I wanted to keep a strong surface narrative here so that everybody could know where they are in this whole thing. But underneath, I was using all sorts of modernistic techniques. And I'm aware that people aren't going to find the leitmotif. They're not going to see the multiple perspectives. They're not going to see the symbolic patterns. They're not going to see the devices that I've used to tie it together, unless they want to read it a second time.
Outside Shooter by Phil Razor is available in bookstores now. And now, in lieu of an arts calendar, we have the top 8 leftover turkey recipes found on the internet for your edification. Number 8, cranberry turkey loaf. Number 7, turkey strata. Number 6, turkey in cherry sauce. Number 5, chutney turkey salad. Number 4, turkey Florentine. Number 3, turkey parmesan lasagna. Number 2, apple turkey spread. And number 1, pumpkin bean turkey chili. For links to those recipes, visit the ArtsDesk webpage at bsu.edu/IPR and click Indiana Arts Desk. I'm Marcus Jackman. Thanks for listening.